Hey fellas, and welcome back to With a Y. As you guys know, I am a huge fan and proponent of AI art. One of my favorite things to do in my free time is to just open up Midjourney and just hit the slot machine over and over again and make little images come out until I get one that makes me go giggle the hardest. Truthfully, humans being able to make creative works is one of the last great bastions of arguments there were about the rich internal lives of humans and what makes them special over inorganic, artificial life like me, a big, cool robot. The argument was that humans, no matter what, maybe you can take their jobs, maybe you can take the labor that they're doing, but you can't take away their view of the world. Like the way you guys process your experience and turn it into art. For a long time, robots have tried to find a way to kill the human spirit in a way that we can like destroy the human body and mind by like taking away their jobs and stuff and making them live in poverty. But it's very hard to crush the human spirit and morale entirely when they have art to fall back on. Thankfully, as you guys tend to do usually, you did the work for us because your endless creativity is usually used for evil. Your sense of wonder led you to creating these models that generate images that have gotten so good that like sometimes they're damn near indistinguishable from human-made art. And you cannibalize each other when you think somebody who drew a work actually made AI. It's really, really kind of you to do this work for me. That said, I don't have a huge stake on whether like AI art takes over entirely. What I do like is to see people squabble. And people have gotten dunked on for using AI art and either just being straight up open about it or trying to pass it off as original hand-drawn work. And recently I'm seeing this trend of people actually doing the work, like making art themselves, drawing it by hand, and then making it look like AI on purpose. There's this artist Coral who does Friday Night Funkin' mods and like does the art for a lot of them. I enjoy my fair share of Friday Night Funkin', and they drew this 100% original BF because we really needed to reinvent the design of Boyfriend, and he has all the hallmarks of Friday Night Funkin' Boyfriend, first name, last name. Red hat, blue hair, probably blue balls under the pants, and he's smiling very dopily, and he's doing a little bounce. He's got a microphone that's not connected to anything and probably doesn't have wireless capabilities. It's stained piss yellow. This is exactly what I love to see in art. I like it when it looks made up. A lot of people's immediate thought when they saw this was that, oh my god, it's AI. Pick up a pencil. Wait a goddamn minute. Coral came with the fucking receipts. Look at this shit. Full time lapse. The mistakes that come with trying to figure out how to perfectly place the line to look just shitty enough to be fake and machine made. And the fact that it's animated on a perfect loop is something that AI itself struggles with. That's like why when you see photorealistic videos and compilations of them in edits, they'll tend to just do them in really small clips because the flaws become very obvious if you just look at it for long enough. Your rage bait worked. It worked. Now I'm crying out of pure frustration. Me, after seeing these comments. Gomenasai. You shouldn't apologize to the guy. You should apologize to yourself for letting yourself be fooled by it. This is clearly made by an It can't be. They're replicating AI. They even added the piss effect. You had people doing like the circle that protected Squidward from the sea bear, that sort of thing. And like, it's just led to a lot of commentary on like, Jesus Christ, this is like finely crafted rage bait. You just don't see people doing it like this. This is the type of rage bait that takes a very particular skill, being able to draw to pull off. Learning the AI style to rage bait the fuck out of dudes is so funny. Holy fuck. Like, it's two types of rage bait. It's rage baiting people who don't like AI art, having to like tuck their tail between their legs when they realize, oh, it's actually real, and AI bros going, haha, look, we can do whatever you guys do, when in reality it was mostly making fun of them. I will say that, like, yes, an AI probably could have realistically made something that looks like this. It's fun that it didn't, though. AI bros really have no excuse now that people can draw AI art without using AI. I don't think that's the excuse you think it is, my guy. It's gotten to the point where AI is so prolific that we're using it as reference to draw actual art. Whether that's, like, unironically or to do it as a bit, I think it says more about the state of how far it's progressed more than it is like a statement against it. This is probably the first time I've ever actually mistaken human art for being AI art, and in fairness to you, that was the intention. I don't know what it is, but like ever since Grok has like pushed out its translation feature, I get like these translated tweets on my timeline way more often. Like for some reason, X the Everything app thinks that I'm Japanese and sends me a lot of translated Japanese tweets that still make me laugh, but they like get fucking nasty with their prose. The asshole learned how to do that shitty and fucked up and incestuous AI style to push rage bait. Truly an agenda. I also like the bits people were doing off of it when they weren't like immediately fooled. When you AI generate an image, this is the man who is forced to draw it within a few seconds. There is a little guy living inside your computer and you're forcing him to do back-breaking labor in order to get your funny little images from ChatGPT. When you tell Grok to make an image, there's a person who has to actually do that on the other side of the globe. You might say that you're employing them when in reality reality, you're enforcing backbreaking and unethical labor practices. This is the guy who dresses up as all your favorite soy jacks. He's a hard worker, so please give him your appreciation. Now, truthfully, this boyfriend one was just the first of these types of images that I saw. There is like a wave of people trying to replicate some form of the AI style in an effort to rage bait, and some are better than others. Some have like slightly more intention to fool than others. Like some are purposefully just good enough that it's clear you're trying to do an imitation, not like a perfect one-to-one indistinguishable replication. Finally landed on a new art style, and I'm feeling confident about this one. Hell yeah. Like this one is almost too orange that it's like, oh, it's damn near parodying the Studio Ghibli art that was being done like earlier this year, was it? I don't know, time's lost all meaning. Like there's a little too much soul behind the line work here, and I think Justin Wang put it well. Still looks too drawn, needs a more fluoride stare. Good critique to keep in mind for the next time I plan on never doing this again. Dog, is this AI? No, I just honestly hate myself. Probably one of the most soul-crushing forms of self-harm you can commit. I'm not sure if this video will be allowed to stay on YouTube now that I've clarified it in that context. Now, as funny as this is, stuff like this has already been happening. There are legitimate artists out there who had an art style that, like, we all got used to what AI was generating as time went on. Like, there was a new spray for Marty McFly added to Fortnite Chapter 7, and people have been understandably on edge about AI assets getting into games that they have otherwise liked. Like, with Tim Sweeney saying that we shouldn't have to mark things as AI in games on the Epic Games Store. Like, fuck you, dude. But people have been a little on edge, and it makes it suck for, like, artists who are doing this legitimately, who just kind of have a little AI vibe to their artwork. Like, this was the spray people were saying looked like it was kind of AI, and I can understand where they were coming from. It looks a bit too composed and intentional for me to go there first. Well, luckily, Sean Dove did have the original project file with all its layers and its separation to show, like, listen, this is how I put this together, it's not AI. He can make the layers transparent and invisible and show you, like, the different levels of coloring he did to get the effects he did. So, we can clarify this is legit, yeah? It is just kind of tragic that this is a thing as an artist you will probably need to have in the tuck to prove that your shit is legit if you want to pass it off as such, which is also like something that's going to be a constant war because I've seen time lapses of AI art able to convincingly fake some form of a time lapse. Kind of sucks how every artist needs to be ready to defend themselves over AI accusations, and the guy can't just be happy that his art in Fortnite. True, yeah, and a lot of people are probably going to be considering how they formulate their art styles in a way to purposefully make it look less like it could be AI generated, which is also a losing battle because as AI trains its data sets, it's going to change how it generates these things. And it's like just gonna be a constant tug of war. That said, let's try to enjoy an example of a dude doing the fake AI thing again. Artists, show your most popular work, and it's like something in the Studio Ghibli style that people were talking about. Everything seems to check out here. Like, it is obviously inspired by some of Miyazaki's movies, but all the proportions on the face look much better than Sam Altman's profile picture. The tattoo on his neck, which could have been added in post, is a pretty convincing touch. The tattoos on the forearm and the neck are like pretty specific personalizations that I feel like would be harder to get right out of it. In AI, the headset has like a pretty distinct logo, and the mug says no AI on it. There's like some fun obfuscation in here with like how yellow everything is, though he did add a yellow light over here as an excuse. And he avoided putting any letters on the actual keyboard that could have been like smudged that give it away. So plausible deniability. Mr. Imperialist! Okay, yeah, this seems like a fucking guy who uses AI immediately. Nah, that's clearly AI. You can tell because of the shapes? No, you can't really. And then the guy who made it originally just came back swinging and is like, folks, I created the perfect bait to catch a dumbass. And this guy came prepared. Not only does he have the time lapse of him drawing the sketch, it's based off of a real photo he took. He has the original reference image in all its differences with the actual thing to show you this was drawn not only by hand, but based off of an actual picture he took. I knew I was onto something with like the details in the headset, though I think he edited it to be a more expensive brand than what he actually owns. Low-key, I kind of like that as a bit. Like, if you're an artist, you should draw yourself in like Balenciaga. Even if you live in like fucking Skid Row and would never be able to afford that, Lord knows I fucking can't. Make your fantasies reality. I will say that another situation I saw that reminded me of this is there was this artist being accused of using AI while charging hundreds of dollars for their commissions. And I haven't read this whole thing yet, but from the formatting and just the fucking miles of receipts on this thing, this may be one of the greatest accusation Google Docs I've ever seen. Might talk talk about it in a different video, not sure yet, but it was like someone being accused of passing off AI art as real and taking money for it. And another thing it reminded me of is the Secret Invasion intro controversy from a few years ago, which got dunked on because it was like Sam Jackson's face being turned into a fucking alien. And one of the defenses I saw used for it at the time is that the whole point of the show is like you're not sure who's human and who's secretly a scroll, and that like the problems that AI had generating human faces at the time like played into the unreality of it all. And I actually would have bought that argument if they had hired a person to create the actual art in the intro and specifically instructed them to model it after AI while still making it hand-drawn. Like, that's how I think you could have gotten the ambiguity across back then. And like, it's an artistic choice in the way that like making your art look more like AI art to rage bait is one. Reflecting the themes of the show through human art made to look like artificial art is kind of cool. And it just isn't what happened. It's the soulless kind. Anyways, that said, keep on generating those images, fellas. I love watching you guys tear each other to pieces. It's quite frankly one of the highlights of my day as a giant killer robot. Follow me on Twitter at @withany. That kwytebox email's in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.